Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Se non avessi amor, il amor, 1991. I'm giving this 1 out of 5 stars. I hated this Italian flick. Se non avessi l'amor. Let's try this again. English, here we go. Translated into English as If I Didn't Have Love is a television film broadcast on December 24th, 1991 on Ra Uno with Antonio Sabato Jr., Ottavia Piccoli, Giacomo Piperno, Franco Simoni, Franco Intelligente, Enter Lanky, and directed by Leonardo Castellini. The film covers the last year of life of Pier Giorgio Frazzini, son of the family that owned the newspaper La Stampa, who lived between 1901 and 1925, and he was beatified in 1990, and he was canonized just recently, September 7th, 2025, within the last couple months, by that new inhabitant of the Vatican, Bob, I think his name is. Robert Francis Prevost, the latest modernist heretic in the Vatican. He canonized both this Pier Giorgio Frazzini and Carlos Acuto. He did both of them. He did the double whammy on September 7th, 2025, thanks to the early death of Bergoglio. I hated this flick. I'm giving it 1 out of 5 stars. Not a good flick. You knew it was going to be whack when you saw that it was a modern day saint. It should be uncanonized now. He got mixed up into politics. He belonged to some People's Party from 1919. Which was supposedly based on Catholic principles, but it advocated women's suffrage and proportional representation and government welfare. I'm sorry, but legal plunder is not Catholic principle. So you had the three choices back then, basically fascism, communism, and welfare statism. Pick your poison. All the political parties are corrupt. I think ultimately the People Party folded, and it became the fascist party of Italy. Anyways, Se non avessi l'amore, television film from 1991, gets a whopping 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 14 ratings. Not only did this 20th century saint doesn't even deserve to be a saint. I guess he was a third order Dominican, and that was the extent of his. Oh, and he went to the Latin Mass. That was the extent of his his. I want to say his his spiritual state, I guess. Uh, the level of his spirituality. Unfortunately, he didn't have any faith though, because he really compromised his Catholic principles by getting involved with politics. And this movie even promotes communism by constantly showing, um, communist themes. This guy gets blinded in the factory and left, and subsequently he's left disabled and useless in the ghetto. No, no workers' compensation or anything. Fortunately, there's Catholic charity though for this guy, thanks to Pier Giorgio Frazzini. Let's see if I can pull it up again. What's it called? Uh, See non. See non. Oh, here we go. English. We want English. Okay. Only 14 ratings on IMDb. It's pretty obscure. The film covers the last year of Pier Giorgio Frazetti's life, son of the family that owned the newspaper La Stampa, who lived between 1901 and 1925, and he was beatified in 1990. Other similar items: The Courage to Speak, another Italian flick. Um, by the way, there are no IMDb reviews on this. The film covers the last year of Pier Giorgio Frazetti's life, son of the family that owned the newspaper La Stampa, who between 1901 and 1925, and was beatified by Bob Prevost in, or no, he was beatified in 1990 by JP2. Release date December 24th, 1991 in Italy. Country of origin Italy, language Italian, manufacturing companies RAI, Italian Radio and Television, and Tiber Cinematografica. Its color stereo, one proportions 1.33 to 1. And uh, the movie depicts Pier Giorgio Frassiti's life. Viewer discretion is advised, as there are few instances of profanity and a brief scene and section of dialogue dealing with mature themes. I guess they're talking about prostitution here. A classic Italian movie, remastered and re released to celebrate the canonization in 2025 of Blessed Pierre Giorgio Frassiti, 1901 to 1925. I guess he died at a young age from some freak disease or something. Frassiti was a handsome, athletic, and fun loving young man from a rich, aristocratic Italian family who turned from a life of privilege to one devoted to working with the poor, suffering, and homeless. And he was a courageous witness of Christian faith and charity to many others. An avid mountain climber, Frassiti exemplified a great love for life, nature, and humanity. He was a leader of youth in Italy in Catholic social justice, which is a misnomer. I guess that means using other people's money for welfare and charitable organizations. And he is a patron saint of World Youth Days. He died of the polio virus at the age of 24. Not a good role model here, I view. He shouldn't have even been beatified. This movie makes no mention of any miracles, of course, and I think he got involved in politics because his father ran a newspaper, and he was a quote liberal, whatever that is. What did liberal mean in 1920s Italy? Oh, the Italian Liberal Party uh, limited constitutional monarchy, individual rights, private property, a market economy, and the rule of law. So I guess the Italian Liberal Party was actually kind of fell by the wayside as the fascists uh, gained consolidation of power in 1924. The last year of Frazetti's life as it is described. But they made it seem in this movie like he was like the People Party was more of a force to be reckoned with, a force against fascism. I think by this time they had sort of folded like the Italian Liberal Party, and they supported the brown shirts as well. So the four political parties, they basically became two, the communists and the fascists. And then the fascists won out in 1924. So there you have a quick early 1920s political scene. I think the son should have adopted the father's political leanings if he was, in fact, a member of the Liberal Party. He mentions the word liberal, and I was curious, and he describes himself as a pacifist. So I did like the father character after all. But again, this is about the son's life and his own political ideology, which is quite depraved, I might add. And he should just followed his father's footsteps. I mean, you can't just be opposed to fascism. You have to stand for something other than welfare, in my opinion. I did not enjoy this movie. I don't know why this person was even beatified by JP2 or canonized by the more recent occupant of the. Oh, and another thing that irritated me while I'm at it, this so-called saint, he's talking about the fascist thugs and he's insulting them when Jesus clearly Christ was saying, "Do not insult anyone." That's that's God's job to belittle the Jews of his time. Sorry, my HEPA filter got a little dusty there. Um, so he's always insulting the fascists. You're supposed to love your enemy. Um, I think Pope Pius the 12th, he was more amicable towards the Italian government than he was towards the Nazis in Germany, or at least so it seems, because he ended up compromising with the fascists as well. I wouldn't call him Mussolini's pope. He's probably more like Franco's pope, Pius the 12th. So there's no mention of any miracles. You've got the saint not following Christ's teachings, even though he's the third order Dominican. He's supposed to be on a higher up on the spiritual ladder than the rest of us lay people, but he's not, because he doesn't follow Christ's teachings. What else? Oh, he's involved in a depraved political party from the 20th century. There weren't many good ones in the 20th century, not just in Italy, but all over the United States. um, yeah, so it was not a good time. The early 1920s. I think who was the uh, who was the president? Oh, Warren G. Harding. He advocated a return to normalcy. He made up a new word called normalcy, and his first inaugural speech looked like it was written by a third grader. Warren G. Harding, poor guy, he gets bad reviews from my high school history teacher, Dr. Urban. All right, let's go down my list. I'm done trashing this movie. Not recommended. Don't check it out. Avoid it at all costs. And I think people are doing that. It only has 14 ratings on IMDb. We generally try to pursue movies with less than 50 ratings here on this channel. Unfortunately, this movie doesn't make the cut, even though it is highly rated. The 14 ratings that it does have gets a high average. So the people who watched it liked it, and I'm probably the only one who's reviewed it and trashed it at the same time. But zero reviews on IMDb. I don't know if there are any reviews on YouTube. You can tell me that if you care to. Uh, First on my list is Sweepers, 1997. Then we've got Strange Illusion, 1945, and Barry Lyndon, 1975. So those are the next three on my list. I will try to get to Sweepers tomorrow. Thanks for checking out my channel. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Laters.